Hello everybody and welcome to Outdoors Britain. In this episode, Outdoors Britain Mrs. and I are proud to bring to you the Christmas cooking special. So first I'm going to show you how I like to cook gammon in Coke with a few other bits and pieces added, and Mrs. Outdoors Britain is going to show you how she's going to make the lamb that we're having this year, because to be honest we both think turkey is a little bit overrated. And also I'm going to show you how to make the starters. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right, okay, so starting with the gammon, first I'll show you the ingredients, and then we'll move on to the glaze and I'll show you the ingredients for that, and then we'll get cracking. So for the gammon we need one big lump of gammon. We need enough Coca-Cola to get the job done. I've probably overestimated, but it's better to have a little bit too much than not quite enough. And we also need one large red onion, a couple of carrots, cinnamon stick, bay leaf and some whole black peppercorns. And then for the honey and mustard glaze we need runny honey, some whole grain mustard, a little bit of red wine vinegar and a little bit of Chinese 5-spice. Okay, so those are the ingredients. Now let's get cracking. Now first things first, I need to weigh the gammon, because when that was brought from the supermarket it was 5 kilos, but I chopped one end off and gave it to Outdoors Britain Mum in exchange for her letting me use her great big stainless steel cooking pot, because my great big cooking pot isn't quite tall enough. So let's get on with it. So one set of kitchen scales, one big lump of gammon into the scales. Now I'm going to have a quick guesstimate. I reckon that's somewhere around 3.5 kilos. $3.730. Wasn't a bad guess. Now with gammon, you boil it for roughly an hour per kilo, so that's going to be round about 3 and 3¾ hours. Now next, because this is a sort of non-tied joint of gammon, I need to unwrap it and then tie it. I'm going to tie it all up using good old white string. Now, nothing fancy, I'm just going to use granny knots for tying this up. Right, and there we have one big lump of gammon all tied up. So now we need to set this to one side, like so, while we chop our onion and our carrots. And now, quite simply, we're just going to quarter it. Like so. Right, just put that on a plate, out of the way. Right, now onto the carrots. Carrots chopped, and put those on the plate too. Like so. Okay, so now we need one large stainless steel cooking pot. Let's put the lid out of the way for the minute. And now we're going to place a big lump of gammon in said cooking pot like so, and then we're going to take our quartered onion and just chuck 1/4 in there, one in there, one down there, and one down there. Maybe give them a little move around a little bit, and in go the carrots. Like so. Now I'm going to take one of our 2-litre bottles of Coke. Now, you don't have to have the branded Coca-Cola. Your sort of local supermarket's own brand is absolutely fine. This one I think is from Aldi's, and the only thing I will say is you've got to make sure that it is the leaded stuff, as it were, or full fat if you like. It doesn't work very well with diet, and it really doesn't work very well with 0 sugar, so it has to be the full sugar one. and pour it in. Just going to wait for the fizz to die down so I can see where we're at. Add a bit more. Okay, so far that's 2 litres. On to the next one. Just wait for that fizz to die back down a bit. Yep, it looks like I've overestimated by quite a lot. But that doesn't matter, because what we don't use now, over the sort of 3 3/4 hours that we're going to be boiling this for, it will need topping up. Okay, that is pretty much to the top. Now we're going to take 1 cinnamon stick. These are the Schwartz ones, but again, your supermarket's own brand is absolutely fine. Just take 1 out and drop it in. Doesn't matter where. Now you need your bay leaves. These are actually from Outdoors Britain Mum's garden, from her bay tree. In it goes. Doesn't matter where, just drop it in. Now we need 1/2 tablespoon, again courtesy of Outdoors Britain Mum, we need 1/2 tablespoon of whole black peppercorns. It's about half, maybe a little bit more, and we're just going to sprinkle them around. In they go, like so. And now we need to light the ring. Nope, hasn't got any gas. Right, so we're going to light the ring. And bring this up to the boil. And once it's boiling, we just turn it down to a simmer and put the lid on. And then we're going to start our timer for 3 3/4 hours. And once the time's up, it'll be time to move on to the next step. Okay, so that is just about boiling now, so we're going to turn that down to a simmer. And we're going to take our lid and put it on. Now we're going to set our timer for 3 hours and 45 minutes. And then when the time's up, it'll be time to move on to the next step. See you in a bit. Right, quick sit rep. While that gammon has been simmering away in all its sort of sweet deliciousness, Mrs. Outdoors Britain was sat in the other room preparing all the vegetables for tomorrow in all her sweet deliciousness. Now, show the... Yes, that's what I thought, madam. Hey? Finished? Little yawn? Yeah? Okay. Right, do you want to show the viewers and subscribers what you've been preparing in the other room? Okay, so Mrs. Outdoors Britain's gone shy, so I'll show you. Right, in this one we got the sprouts, in this one we got the parsnips, in this one we got the taters, and in this one we've got the carrots. Now, there is... Flip the screen round so I can see what I'm doing. Now, obviously tomorrow there will be... Tomorrow will be Christmas Day. Obviously there is red cabbage because Mrs. Outdoors Britain likes all things colourful, so yeah, we're having red cabbage. And what else have we got with it? Or is that about it?
Stuffing.
Oh yes, there will also be stuffing tomorrow. And what else? Peas. There will be peas as well, won't there?
Will there?
I don't know, will there?
If you want.
Okay, yeah, so there'll be peas to go with those carrots too.
Right then.
Right.
Oh, and sausages.
Oh,
Pigs
and
in
the pigs in blankets. And for those that don't know what pigs in blankets mean, that is sausages wrapped in bacon. In fact, we might even... Oh, and Yorkshire puddings as well. But as for the pigs in blankets, we might even do another little piece to camera making those. But for now, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so the pigs in blankets. Very, very easy to make. Very, very straightforward. You get your, well, in our case, the pack of 12 thin pork sausages and a pack of cheap unsmoked back bacon. What's this one? Essentials by Asda. Job's a good one. Right, so we're going to use all of them because, well, it's Christmas and why not? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, they are all present and accounted for. So, now, can I peel this open or do I need the scissors? Will it peel? Please peel. I bet it doesn't peel because we're on camera. Yeah. It is going to peel. There we go. Just about. And quite simply, just take is that one? Yep, one bit of bacon and wrap it round a sausage like so. If you get too much, hang on, is that? No, that is one. If you get too much, don't worry, we can just get the sharp scissors or a sharp knife. Should probably use a sharp knife. And trim it off and put that to one side for Outdoors Britain dog. Right, need a plate to put these on. over there. Yeah, this is definitely cheap bacon. There's one bit. Right. That's 2. Okay, put the dog bits to one side for a minute. Bacon back in the fridge. And there you have it. 12 pigs in blankets, all ready for tomorrow. Okay, so the gammon has got just over half an hour left of boiling time to go. So I thought what we do now is get that glaze ready for the next step. Okay, so what we need first of all is one bowl. Then we need our runny honey, our whole grain mustard, our red wine vinegar, and our Chinese 5 spice. And we also need one measuring jug. Now we need, oh hold on, one more thing. We also need a tablespoon. Right, so to start off we need 200 mils of, or 200 mils or 200 grams, whatever, 200 mils of the runny honey. Just off that in a bit. Right, so we need 200 mils of the runny honey. So 200. Next we need 2 tablespoons of our whole grain mustard. So 1. I can't get it in there. This must look so awkward on video. Right, scrap the tablespoon. Use a smaller one. Right, 1. I know, about 3/4. Right. Then we need 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. So it's going to be 1.5 of these. So 1.5, that's about a tablespoon. So another 1.5. Right. And finally, it says a pinch of Chinese 5 spice. So, I mean, how much is a pinch? I reckon about that much is about a pinch. And in it goes. Right. And then, quite simply, just give it all a really good stir. Stir it all together. Now, I made this glaze last year, except instead of using honey, I used maple syrup. But the problem I found with the maple syrup was that it was really runny, and it was, I'd say like most of it was just running off the gammon rather than sort of sticking on and glazing like it should. So this year I've decided to try it with honey, and yeah, this is the first time I've ever tried it with honey, so we'll see how it goes. Give that a really good mix. You see, that does look a little bit thicker than it did when I tried it before with maple syrup. So we'll see what happens. Just leave that in there. Use that spoon to ladle it on with when the time comes. But before I go, the reason for the bowl was because I was going to mix it up in the bowl, but I changed my mind and did it in the jug because it just seemed to sort of make more sense, and I think it will be easier to pour over the gammon as well if I don't use the spoon to ladle it. Now, see you in a bit. Right, so our gammon has now been boiling for its 3 3/4 hours, so 3 hours and 45 minutes, and now it's time to turn the heat off. I think we'll take this lid off. Yeah, it's not too hot. Now we've just got to leave this to cool down, and once it's cooled down we're going to pour away the liquid, and then we're going to transfer it into a deep baking tray. Rather like this one. Yeah, we're going to put it into this baking tray and then it's going to go in the oven, which we need to preheat to gas mark 5, or if you've got a fan oven, 170 degrees, or if you've got a normal standard oven, it's 190 degrees, and that is Celsius. So, while we're waiting for that to cool down, I'm going to preheat the oven to gas mark 5. Number 5. Okay, so I've now managed to transfer the gammon from the big boiling pot into the baking tray, and now I'm going to try and very carefully cut all the bits of string off that I used to tie it together, and then I'll see if I can take this bit of skin off without making too much mess. It's all 6 bits removed. Put it back in the middle. Now I'm going to try and take this bit of skin off without making too much mess. Right. Oh, hang on, we've missed a bit of string. So those scissors back. And 7. Right. Now we've got all the string out. That's about all the skin I can get off, I think, without making too much mess. Oh, no. Try and leave that fat on really, but oh, that'll be fine. Right. Just going to put the skin to one side. And now, using a sharp knife, we're just going to score through that fat like so, in a crisscross pattern. So I'm going to go diagonally one way first. Like so. And then, quite simply, diagonally in the opposite way, like so. Just scoring through that fat, not too deep, just sort of scoring it, kind of like keying it up really, so that the glaze has got something to stick to, you know. Another little going. Right, that should do it. I'll try and come across there a bit too. That's it. And back that way. Right. That'll do. Right, now we're going to take our glaze, give it a quick stir, and then sort of pour a generous amount over the fat, like so, all over, like that. And now we're going to put that in our preheated oven on the middle shelf. Like so. Okay, so now we're just going to leave that in the oven for 15 minutes, and then we're going to take it back out and pour the rest of the glaze over it, and then put it back in for another half an hour, and that should do the trick. See you in a bit. Right, that's had its first 15 minutes, so now we're going to take it out of the oven and add the rest of the glaze. Tip it all on. So now we're going to put it back in the oven for half an hour. And now that's had half of its half an hour, so that means it's got 15 minutes left. So what we're going to do now is we're going to very quickly take it out of the oven again, like so. Shut that door to keep the heat in. Now, using our spoon, we are going to just spoon over more of the sort of juices and glaze that's come running off it. Just going to drizzle it all over, like so. Just get as much as we can on there. Like so. like that. A little bit more. I'll get some in there. Yep. Like that. That's it, that'll do, I reckon. Maybe just a little bit more. Right, I reckon that'll just about do it. Now we're going to put it back in the oven for about 15 more minutes, and then that will be done. Okay, so that is it. The gammon has now had its half an hour and it's now ready to come out of the oven like so. What I am going to do is just spoon a little bit more of that glaze over it as it cools down. Oh, let's get that off. Out of the way. Just going to pour the last of that on. Yeah, it's a bit hot to lift it without a glove. There you have it. Gammon boiled in Coke with a honey and whole grain mustard glaze. Okay, so quick sit rep. It's Christmas morning! What's next on the cooking agenda, Mrs. Outdoors Britain?
Let's cook that.
What, so you've just prepared the
Purple cabbage.
the all things colourful purple cabbage or red cabbage, whatever you want to call it. And what's this you're going to be cooking today? That is
his leg.
no, it's not really Outdoors Britain dog's leg. It's yeah, that is the whole leg of lamb that we're having today instead of turkey, because we think turkey is a bit overrated, and well, we just all prefer lamb to turkey. Right, over to you, Mrs. Outdoors Britain. So, first things first.
Need to unwrap the leg.
Okay, so that is now one leg of lamb unwrapped and put onto the foil-lined baking tray. What's next, Mrs. Outdoors Britain?
I'm going to stab it.
You're going to stab it?
Yes.
Or are you going to score it all over, maybe?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to put salt and pepper in it.
Some salt and pepper, yeah.
some rosemary on it.
Some rosemary on it. Excellent. What's next?
Put it in the oven and cook.
Yeah, what temperature are you going to set it at? Gas mark.
6 probably.
For how long?
But I'm going to cover it with a bit of foil first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that is now wrapped in foil, and that's now ready to go into the preheated oven. What did you preheat it at,
5.
Mrs. Outdoors Britain? I might come up to 6 on that, to be honest. And that needs to go in there for how long did we say?
About 2.5 hours. But I'm
about 2 to 2.5 hours, but we'll check it along the way. So, in it goes. Okay, so where are we at now, Mrs. Outdoors Britain?
Got a bit of salt in there. And I'll put mixed spice in it because I think it makes it taste sweeter.
Yeah, and what's that?
Pepper cabbage.
Yep. And so yeah, the lamb is in the oven and the red cabbage is on. What's next, Mrs. Outdoors Britain?
That you know you've got a big giant dog when you find drool in random places.
Yes, that's right. Right. Okay, so now Mrs. Outdoors Britain has got well and truly stuck into the veg. We are going to get stuck into getting the starters together, and this Christmas we are having prawn cocktail starters, but it's only myself and Mrs. Outdoors Britain that's going to be having them. Now let's get into it. Now, to make these starters, first thing we need is 1 bowl. And next we need 1 pack of Atlantic large prawns. These are the cooked and peeled ones, so once they're thawed out they're ready to go, and we're going to chuck the whole pack into the bowl. Rubbish in the bin. Alright. Well, they didn't peel that one very well, did they? Right. Or that one. Then we need 1 jar of seafood sauce. I do apologise for the light, but I'm actually on the opposite side to the kitchen that I would normally cook on. Then we just empty the seafood sauce into the prawns. All of it like so. That'll do. Now, just gonna mix the prawns into the seafood sauce. Now, you can make your own seafood sauce if you're feeling brave, but just for sort of speed and simplicity, I'm just using one straight out of a jar. That's it. Now, once that's all mixed in like so, we're going to leave it to one side out of shot. Next, we need 2 more bowls, like so. And we also need two tomatoes, a cucumber, an iceberg lettuce, and a bag of strong and peppery watercress, spinach and rocket. And now we need to open the iceberg lettuce. Just going to move these out of the way, out of shot for a second, just to make some space. Right. So the way I make these, which is the way I make them, is I take the lettuce, like so, and then very, very carefully take off a leaf, and line a bowl with it, like so. Then I very carefully take off another leaf. Oh, rip that one. Doesn't matter if you rip it a little bit, but I mean try not to, sort of try and keep the leaves as whole as you can, like so, and line the other bowl, like so. Let me get another one. Whoops, split that one, doesn't really matter. Just tuck it in there, like that. The other bit. And we need one more. And line it like that. Now using a sharp knife or a pair of scissors. So no, hang on. Right. Put the lettuce back in its bag. Put it back in the fridge. And now using scissors or a sharp knife, I'm using scissors, I'm just going to trim the lettuce off all the way around the top of the bowl, like so. Right, same on this one, just going to trim it all around the top, like so. Right. There you have it. They're now trimmed off, sort of flush with the top of the bowl. Now, we take our bag of strong and peppery watercress, spinach and rocket. Just take a little bit, and then using your scissors again, just roughly chop it up, not too small, like so, and chuck it in the middle, like that. And take another pinch and just roughly chop it into the middle of the other one, like so. Maybe a little bit more in that one. Like so. Now put this away. Now we need a small chopping board. Where's the chopping boards? Here's the chopping boards. Right, using a small chopping board and a nice sharp knife. You're going to take a tomato and cut it into quarters. That way and that way. Right, now in one bowl. Just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. Then we take the other one and do the same. So go 1, 2, right, and put the 4/4 opposite each other. 2, 3, 4. Right, now onto the cucumber. Just cut the end bit off like that. Do away with it. And cut yourself off a bit of cucumber, about that big, and cut it into quarters, but sort of long ways, like that. And now we're going to put them between the bits of tomato, like so. And then do it again for the other bowl. Two. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't actually like the shape of these bowls for making these. I prefer the old bowls. Right. And then put the cucumber away. And get rid of the sharp knife and chopping board. And the scissors. Now we bring back our prawns in seafood sauce, and we're just gonna evenly spoon it into the middle, like 1, 1, 2, 2. Yeah, I don't really like these sort of narrow, steep-sided bowls. They're not the best for this. 3. It's just going to bury everything. 3. 4. Call that 4. And a bit. And a bit. And now we need some paprika and some hot cayenne chili pepper. First of all, we're going to get the cayenne chili pepper and give it a very, very light dusting over the top, like so. Just like that. Then we're going to do exactly the same with the paprika. Very light dusting over the top of both of them, like so. One final step, you need to get yourself another chopping board and a lemon and another sharp knife, because I've just put that one in the dirty sink. Now I'm going to cut the end off like that, and then I'm going to cut 1 slice, 2 slices, get rid of the end bit. Put the rest of it in the fridge because we'll use that later in a drink. And just cut them in half. Like that. And we're going to squeeze 1/2 over it. Give it a little bit of extra flavour. Like that. Squeeze it over it like that. And just leave the other 2 on the sides like that. And now, the very, very last step, we're going to take ourselves a pack of jumbo king prawns. And we're just going to, these are cooked and peeled, so once they're thawed out, they are ready to go, right? We're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, that really is it. Just going to put the rest of these prawns in the fridge because we'll have them later. Right. Now we can get rid of our chopping board and our sharp knife. And there you have it. My signature Outdoors Britain prawn cocktail starters. Right, okay, so what's happening now, Mrs. Outdoors Britain?
Let's do those potatoes, look.
Wow, what's that, Mrs. Outdoors Britain?
It's the lamb.
That is the leg of lamb, and that has now finished its time in the oven. And now it's time for
Potatoes.
the roast potatoes and probably the parsnips and some carrots to go on. So has that finished its time in the oven, or is it going back in for a bit longer?
Going in for a little bit longer, just so
Right.
it's roast potatoes.
Okay, yeah, so it's going to go back in, but just long enough to do the roast potatoes, parsnips, and there'll probably be some carrot strips going in there too. And now, just before I managed to press play, Mrs. Outdoors Britain has just put goose fat all over those lovely looking taters.
Very healthy.
And back in the oven it goes. Okay, Mrs. Outdoors Britain, what's next?
This is the parsnips and carrots with roast potatoes, and I put golden syrup on it.
Okay, is there any goose fat on there as well?
Tiny bit, but not really.
Lovely jubbly. What are you going to do with it now, Mrs. Outdoors Britain?
I'm going to roast it.
We're going to stick it where the sun don't shine if I carry on asking silly questions?
Yeah.
Right, going into the oven. Are you just going to be cooking these by eye? So once they're sort of nice and golden brown looking, that's it, they're done and out they come, yeah?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
And they've got to cook their carrots.
And now, just going to do those carrots. In goes the boiling water.
Come on, in.
Right, come on boy. In.
Sit. Oh, you good boy. Pour. They're nice. High five. High five. Good boy. Again. High five. Oh, look at the slobber. High five. Good boy. Wait. 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 Go on in. Now.
Good boy. We can do a lie down.
I will. Quito, sit. Sit. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Good boy. Wait. Wait. Go on in. Wait. Wait. Great. Wait a minute. Wait. 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 Go on then.
Good boy. That's it now, all gone. Right, that's it now, all gone. Good boy. And there you have it. The Outdoors Britain Christmas dinner. Or should I say, the Outdoors Britain Christmas cooking special. And now it's time for a bit of bonus footage. What are we having now, Mrs. Outdoors Britain?
You stop. This. How'd you cook it?
Well, it looks like we're having a lovely bit of Christmas pudding.
Yeah, I made it myself.
Did you really?
Yeah, actually.
That's a funny looking box you're holding there, Mrs. Outdoors Britain. Are you sure you made it yourself?
You're not even recording.
I am recording.
No.
I am, and this is going in the video. Oh, you good boy. You can't have Christmas pudding, you're a dog. It's got raisins in, and that's no good for you. Handsome thing, aren't you, boy? Hey? Right, so, how have you got to cook it, Mrs. Outdoors Britain?
Well, I'm going to be lazy.
You're just going to pierce that film lid and chuck it in the microwave?
Yeah, because steaming it is 2 hours, and I ain't got 2 hours this time of night.
No, we have not got 2 hours this time of night. And in the microwave it goes.
Oh, I can't remember what it said now. 4 minutes, did it say 4 minutes?
Do you like me to check?
Yes. Please don't get the message.
Right, let's see what it says. Microwave, 900 watts, 4.5 minutes.
Yep.
That's what we need.
Just don't get messy.
Right. See you in about 4.5 minutes. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. One piping hot Christmas pud.
You're getting all our clutter. Kratos. You need
Come
to move
on,
your
big
ass.
boy. Come on, you giant puppy dog. My goodness, the size of him. You wouldn't think he was only 1 year old, would you? No. He used to be smaller than the old Outdoors Britain dog, or the late Outdoors Britain dog, I should say. Weren't you, big boy? And yes, that gate does not keep him in or out. He can jump it quite easily.
Oh, look at that.
Onto the Christmas pud.
Told you I was good at this.
Look at that.
See, I made it.
Mrs. Outdoors Britain, that looks fantastic. Mm-mm.
Am I supposed to put it on a plate now?
No, I would say just decant it straight into bowls, my love.
You're being that lazy, you're not going to make it all blue and fancy.
Yeah, we are being lazy, to be honest. Because it's Christmas and, yeah. That's the one. Now, we're going to be having this with just normal cream, or sorry, we're going to be having this with normal double cream, because as you know, I am a Scotch man and I'm not that keen on brandy, to be honest. So instead of having brandy butter or brandy cream, this is what we're going to be having. We've got about 2% battery left.
I do.
Just off that out of shot. Right, onto the cream.
What's this beer disaster? Do you know how much cream? Yes, yes, yes.
A little bit more on mine. I'm not scared of a bit of cholesterol.
There you go, look at that. Find the Christmas pudding.
And there you have it. A lovely bit of Christmas pudding. Oh. Right. that is just about the end of the Outdoors Britain cooking special. We really hope you've enjoyed this episode. That is the end. Thank you for watching.